Deep within the heart of the Mesoamerican rainforest, the sun struggled to pierce the dense canopy. The thick foliage formed a natural barrier, allowing only slivers of light to filter through, creating a mystical interplay of shadows and light. Life teemed, a vibrant tapestry of green woven with the songs of exotic birds and the rustle of unseen creatures. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and blooming flowers, a symphony of life that thrived in the shadows. Yet, a shadow lingered in this paradise. Fear, primal and instinctive, clung to the air like morning mist. It was an unspoken presence, a silent whisper that something was amiss in this lush haven. It was a time of uncertainty, whispered among the tribes who called this verdant labyrinth home. The elders spoke in hushed tones, their faces etched with worry, as they sensed the winds of change blowing through their ancestral lands. Jaguar Paw, a young hunter of the Maya civilization, moved through the undergrowth with the grace of a jaguar. His every step was deliberate, his movements a dance with the forest, honed by years of living in harmony with nature. His keen eyes, sharp as obsidian blades, scanned the jungle floor for prey. He was attuned to the slightest rustle, the faintest movement, a testament to his skills as a hunter and his deep connection to the land. He was a man of the rainforest, his life inextricably intertwined with its rhythms and dangers. The forest was his home, his sanctuary, and he knew its secrets as well as he knew his own heartbeat. But on this day, a different kind of prey stalked these woods. An ominous presence lurked in the shadows, a threat that was both foreign and familiar, sending a shiver down his spine. As Jaguar Paw and his fellow hunters ventured deeper into the jungle, they stumbled upon a group of refugees. Their appearance was sudden and unexpected, their faces a canvas of fear and desperation. Their eyes were wide with terror, their bodies trembling with a fear that resonated deep within Jaguar Paw's soul. The sight of their haunted expressions spoke volumes, a silent cry for help that pierced his heart. They spoke of invaders, ruthless and brutal, who had descended upon their village, leaving nothing but ashes and despair in their wake. The invaders had come like a storm, swift and merciless, destroying everything in their path. The sight of these refugees, their faces etched with the horrors they had witnessed, sent a chill down Jaguar Paw's spine. He could see the pain in their eyes, the memories of violence and loss that would haunt them forever. He had heard whispers of such atrocities, tales of powerful and merciless tribes who preyed upon the weak. The elders had spoken of these invaders in fearful tones, warning of the danger they posed to their way of life. But seeing the fear in the eyes of these refugees made the stories all too real. The danger was no longer a distant threat, it was here, in their midst, a palpable presence that could not be ignored. The rainforest, once a sanctuary, now felt like a hunting ground. The familiar sounds of the jungle took on a sinister tone, and every shadow seemed to hide a potential threat. The encounter left an indelible mark on Jaguar Paw. He felt a heavy weight settle on his shoulders, a responsibility to protect his people and his home from the encroaching danger. It was a stark reminder that even in the heart of paradise, danger lurked. The beauty of the rainforest was matched only by its brutality, a delicate balance that could be easily tipped. The rainforest was a place of both beauty and brutality, where survival was a constant struggle. Every day was a battle against the elements, against predators, and now, against invaders who threatened their very existence. And as he looked into the eyes of the refugees, he couldn't shake the feeling that their fate might soon be his own. The fear and uncertainty that gripped them was a mirror of his own deepest fears, a reflection of the peril that now loomed over them all. Determined to protect his people, Jaguar Paw knew that he had to prepare for the inevitable conflict. The time for action had come, and he steeled himself for the challenges that lay ahead. The tribes would need to unite, to stand together against the common threat. Their strength lay in their unity, in their shared resolve to defend their home and their way of life. As a leader and protector, Jaguar Paw would lead the way, guiding his people through the darkness that threatened to engulf them. The fight for their survival had begun, and he was ready to face it head-on. Returning to his village, nestled amongst the trees like a hidden jewel, Jaguar Paw felt a sense of unease that he couldn't quite place. The village, usually a sanctuary of peace and familiarity, now seemed to whisper secrets of unseen dangers lurking in the shadows. Jaguar Paw couldn't shake the unease that gnawed at his insides. His instincts, honed by years of hunting and survival, were alerting him to a threat he couldn't yet identify. The forest, with its dense canopy and myriad sounds, felt more ominous than ever before. He sought the counsel of Flint Sky, the village elder, and a man revered for his wisdom and connection to the spirit world. Flint Sky had seen many seasons come and go, and his knowledge of the land and its secrets was unparalleled. Flint Sky, his weathered face a roadmap of seasons past, listened intently as Jaguar Paw recounted the encounter. The elder's eyes, deep and knowing, seemed to peer into the very soul of the young hunter, understanding his fears without judgment. Fear, Flint Sky finally spoke, his voice a low rumble that resonated with the wisdom of generations, is not the enemy, young hunter. It is a guide, a protector, a force that has kept our ancestors alive through countless trials and tribulations. It is a guide, a protector. Fear is the body's way of alerting us to danger, of preparing us to face the unknown with heightened senses and sharpened reflexes. His eyes, ancient and knowing, held Jaguar Paw's gaze. The intensity of his stare conveyed the gravity of his words, as if he were imparting a sacred truth that had been passed down through the ages. To deny fear is to invite death. To embrace it, to understand its whispers, is to survive. Fear is not a weakness but a strength that can be harnessed. To embrace it, to understand its whispers, is to survive. It is a tool that, when wielded correctly, can guide us through the darkest of times and the most perilous of paths. Jaguar Paw, though initially resistant to the idea of embracing such a primal emotion, found himself drawn to the elder's words. The concept of fear as a tool, rather than an obstacle, was a revelation that challenged his understanding of courage and survival. Flint Sky spoke of fear as a tool, a sixth sense that could alert them to danger and guide them towards safety. He explained that fear was an integral part of the natural world, a force that balanced the delicate dance of life and death. It was a perspective that challenged Jaguar Paw's understanding of courage and survival. He had always seen fear as something to be conquered, not embraced. But Flint Sky's words planted a seed of doubt in his mind, making him question his long-held beliefs. The jungle, Flint Sky continued, is a place of balance. Life and death dance in a delicate embrace. Every creature, from the smallest insect to the mightiest predator, plays a role in this intricate web of existence. Life and death dance in a delicate embrace. To survive, one must learn to dance with them both. It is a dance that requires grace, awareness, and a deep understanding of the rhythms of the natural world. To survive, one must learn to dance with them both. It is a dance that requires not only physical agility, but also mental and emotional resilience. Fear, when understood and respected, can be a powerful ally in this dance. He placed a weathered hand on Jaguar Paw's shoulder, his touch firm yet reassuring. The gesture conveyed a sense of solidarity and support, a reminder that Jaguar Paw was not alone in his journey. Do not let fear paralyze you, young hunter. Let it sharpen your senses, quicken your reflexes. Let it be the wind beneath your wings, not the anchor that drags you down. Let it sharpen your senses, quicken your reflexes. Use it to your advantage, to become more attuned to the world around you. Fear can heighten your awareness, making you more alert and responsive to the dangers that lurk in the shadows. Let it be the wind beneath your wings, not the anchor that drags you down. Embrace it and let it propel you forward, giving you the strength and courage to face whatever challenges lie ahead. Flint Sky's words resonated deeply within Jaguar Paw. He began to see fear not as a weakness, but as a vital instinct, a tool that could be honed and utilized to navigate the treacherous paths of the rainforest. He began to see fear not as a weakness, but as a vital instinct, a tool that could be honed and utilized to navigate the treacherous paths of the rainforest. It was a lesson that would stay with him, a seed of wisdom planted in the fertile ground of his youthful mind. It was a lesson that would stay with him, a seed of wisdom planted in the fertile ground of his youthful mind. As he prepared for the challenges ahead, he felt a newfound sense of determination and clarity. For in a world teetering on the edge of chaos, only those who understood the language of fear could hope to survive. Jaguar Paw knew that this understanding would be his greatest asset in the days to come, guiding him through the perils of the jungle and beyond. The village gathered that evening around a crackling fire, its flames painting dancing shadows on their worried faces. The air was thick with tension, a palpable sense of unease that seemed to seep into the very ground beneath them. The air hung heavy with unspoken dread, the encounter with the refugees casting a pall over their usually vibrant community. These refugees had brought with them tales of horror, of lands laid waste and lives uprooted, and their stories had spread like wildfire through the village. Flint Sky, his eyes reflecting the fire's glow, rose to address his people. His presence commanded attention, and the villagers fell silent, their eyes fixed on their leader. "The world," he began, his voice heavy with foreboding, "is out of balance." His words were simple, yet they carried the weight of 1,000 unspoken fears. A darkness approaches, a hunger that knows no bounds. This was not just a physical darkness, but a metaphorical one. A creeping sense of doom that threatened to engulf everything they held dear. He spoke of a prophecy, passed down through generations, of a being of insatiable emptiness, consuming all that lay in its path. This being, he explained, was not a mere legend but a very real threat that loomed over their world. The villagers listened, their faces a mixture of fear and fascination, as Flint Sky wove a tale of a world on the brink. His words painted vivid pictures in their minds, images of desolation and despair that were all too easy to imagine. He spoke of dwindling resources, of once fertile lands turning barren, of a darkness that spread like a disease across the land. The forest, once a source of life and sustenance, was now a place of death and decay. The being of the prophecy, he explained, was not a creature of flesh and blood, but a manifestation of their own greed and disregard for the delicate balance of nature. This entity was born from their own actions, a reflection of their own failings. "We have taken too much," Flint Sky warned, his voice echoing through the hushed clearing. His words were a stark reminder of their own culpability in the unfolding disaster. "We have consumed without replenishing, built without regard for the spirits of the forest." The evidence of their excesses was all around them, in the scarred and barren landscapes that had once been lush and green. And now, the forest itself cries out in pain. The trees, once towering and majestic, now stood twisted and gnarled, their leaves withered and brown. His words hung in the air, heavy with the weight of generations past and the uncertainty of the future. The villagers could feel the truth of his words deep in their bones, a chilling realization that their world was on the brink of collapse. The prophecy, though shrouded in metaphor and symbolism, resonated with the villagers. They could see the parallels between the ancient tales and their current reality, and it filled them with a sense of dread. They had all witnessed the changes in the rainforest, the dwindling prey, the unpredictable weather patterns. The signs were all around them, and they could no longer ignore the evidence of their own eyes. Fear, like a venomous serpent, coiled around their hearts. The villagers felt a deep, gnawing anxiety that seemed to grow with each passing day. The world they knew, the world their ancestors had thrived in for generations, seemed to be unraveling at the seams. The stability and security they had once taken for granted were now distant memories, and they, caught in the midst of this unraveling, could only watch in fear and uncertainty as the darkness descended. The future was a vast, unknown expanse, and they could only hope that they would find a way to navigate the coming storm.